In the summer of 2025, I visited over 250 places in Britain, including 40 English cities and all the cities of Scotland and Wales. Here are 5 of the cities I feel deserve more recognition. These are my top 5 underrated British cities. Number 5, Norwich. Norwich is a nice city. We're looking at the castle here, and it's probably overlooked due to it being way over in the east of the country in the county of Norfolk, miles away from bloody anywhere. In fact, the closest city is Ely, which is almost 60 miles away. Norwich has a population of about 145,000 and has tons of history. It was once one of the most prosperous and important towns in England before the Industrial Revolution. Norwich has loads of nice places to splash your cash, like those arcades you just saw and these outdoor markets here. There's plenty of historical buildings to gawk at as well. Norwich is a nice place to walk around, mooch about, and there's plenty of good boozers as well. A mate of mine went to uni in Norwich and he told me the name was an acronym for Knickers Off Ready When I Come Home. Not quite sure if that's verified, but it works, I guess. Here we have the Museum of Norwich and a bookstore and cobbled streets. You can sort of see the medieval town planning going on here. And as you can see as well, the streets are quiet. Granted, the weather wasn't the best, but if this were close to big population centres like the West Midlands or the South East or the North West of England, there'd be a lot more people here, I'm sure. I imagine the highlight for many visitors would be the cathedral. The Norman Cathedral that you see here started to be built in 1096 and was completed, it's estimated, between 30, maybe up to 70 years later. 900 or so years after that, it still has the second highest spire of any cathedral in England, although granted the spire was actually built in 1480. It's free to enter the cathedral, but donations are very welcome. And every tourist favourite is coming up here. Paddington Bear is waiting outside for a selfie. Here we've got a medieval tower, a medieval street, and a Victorian railway station. And of course there are some modern areas of the city as well. The football team, Norwich City, is a friendly one, unless they're playing local rivals Ipswich Town in what is dubbed the Old Farm Derby. Number 4, Dundee. On the River Tay in the east of Scotland, Dundee is the 4th largest city in Scotland with a population of about 150,000. Historically known as the city of jute, jam and journalism, after World War II, Dundee suffered significant decline, but is now in the midst of a £1 billion transformation, with its centrepiece being the waterfront here. The boat you see here is the RSS Discovery, which regularly sailed to the Antarctic in the early 20th century. And this is the Victoria and Albert Museum. Walking under this little walkway here makes you feel like you're in a Star Wars or Blade Runner movie. Dundee is a pretty high-tech sort of place. This is a sort of outdoors video game kind of thing. But at the same time, it's historic. This is the slightly eccentric HMS Unicorn. So leaving the waterfront and heading into the city centre, the eccentricity continues with this polar bear statue. This is Desperate Dan and Minnie the Minx from the Bandy and Beano comics, and Lemmings, the 90s video game that was created here in Dundee. Dundee is a vibrant city with a large student population, and surprisingly there are some palm trees here in Dundee as well. I wasn't expecting that this far north. The west end of Dundee has a lot of character and independent pubs and restaurants. Dundee FC and Dundee United FC are just down the road from each other. Dundee is a work in progress and going through a transformation. It can look a little bit derelict in places, but it's well worth checking out. He who seeks rest finds boredom. He who seeks work finds rest. Number 3 is Swansea, or Abertawe if we want to be Welsh about it. Like Dundee, Swansea formerly nicknamed Copperopolis, was an industrial town that went through a period of decline and is now improving, for the most part. This is the ruins of 13th century Swansea Castle, which can be admired while eating a Brazilian chipotle flavoured iguana or whatever it is they sell in there. Swansea has loads of free stuff, museums, galleries, walk around the marina, the great outdoors, the promenade or the sandy beach. Swansea, for my money, is one of the best outdoorsy cities in Britain. Also like Dundee, Swansea is modernising, and also like Dundee, it's got weird stuff you can walk through to feel like you're in a sci-fi movie. Insert your beam me up Swansea joke here. Anyway, it's just as well you've got all these free stuff so you can save your money, because you're going to need it for the infamous Wine Street, which is just wall-to-wall bars, restaurants, pubs and clubs. Swansea does often get overlooked for Cardiff, especially as it's that bit further away from the English border, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's got a little bit for everyone and even has half-decent football and rugby teams, which rapper Snoop Dogg recently invested in. As long as he doesn't try and change the name to Swan Doggy Dogs, we're all good. Number 2, Lincoln. Lincoln is simply one of the most beautiful cities in the country. But for some reason, it doesn't get the attention the likes of Cambridge, Oxford, York or Bath receive. Similar to Norwich, it's not really near anywhere. The closest cities are Doncaster and Nottingham, and they're about an hour's drive away. And also like Norwich, a medieval cathedral is its centrepiece. In fact, this cathedral was the largest building on the planet for over 200 years, taking that mantle from the Grand Pyramid of Giza. Completed in 1092, the Norman Gothic Cathedral holds one of the 4 remaining pieces of the Magna Carta and is currently the 4th largest cathedral in Britain. In this flat county of Lincolnshire, you can see it from miles around. But Lincoln's history goes back even further than that. This Roman gate, this was built in the 3rd century and it's just there in the road. With a population of just over 100,000, it is a touristy place, but with good reason. And bear in mind that this footage is from a lovely sunny day, so it's not usually this busy. It's a great city for walking around, but bear in mind there are quite a few hills, especially the one going up to the cathedral. This hill coming up is literally called Steep Hill. For a city of its size, it's got more attractions than you'd expect, more shopping and more theatres and cinemas, that kind of stuff. Lots of restaurants and pubs, some of them quite high end, especially in this area. There's plenty of green space as well. This is just below the cathedral. And this is the waterfront area. You can go on river cruises from here. There's even a glory hole. No, really, I don't really want to know what goes on there. Lincoln is also the home of the tank, hopefully not a Tommy tank. Overall, it's a great city. Number 1 is Worcester. Now, before we get into it, I'd just like to say I think Lincoln is the best city on this list, but I think Worcester is the most underrated. Now, I've heard of a lot of people saying they're going to visit Norwich or Dundee or Swansea or Lincoln, but you never hear anyone say, I'm going to visit Worcester for the weekend. Well, their loss. Worcester, or Worcester if you're American, is roughly halfway between Birmingham and Gloucester and has a population of roughly 105,000. With some Roman and medieval history, the most significant event in Worcester's history was the Battle of Worcester, the final battle in the English Civil War in 1651. And this is the commandery, the royalist headquarters at the time of the Civil War. Worcester Cathedral, that started to be built in 1084, is yet another Gothic cathedral to add to the collection in this video. There's a Banksy, a helter-skelter car park, almshouses, Tudor buildings, nice medieval streets with lots of people out and about, nice boozers, the River Severn, sports-wise, Worcester is most famous for its cricket and its horse racing. And let's not forget as well, it's the home of Worcestershire sauce, so it gets a lot of points for that alone. It's not perfect. There are some issues with homeless folk, and there is some controversy with the large Fawns Hotel being used to house asylum seekers. This is it, the huge hotel here. But all in all, it is a very underrated city. And that's my list. If you feel like I've missed anything out on here, please let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.